This is the advanced retard unit from the cb125s, the 1973 one. I'm still not entirely happy with the way the motor's running. I mean, it's rideable, but there's just a little bit of a rough spot, sort of mid-throttle. And I have been through, I've reset the valve clearances, the points gap, and the timing. The only thing I will say is that the timing is a little bit, it comes and goes, I think. And I'm wondering if this advanced retard unit just needs a good clean. I mean, it feels free in operation, and the orientation of the cam is correct. So we've got a little mark here, which points to the scallop here, which is apparently the correct orientation for the cam. I think if you got it back to front, it just wouldn't run at all. So we know that that is facing the right way. So I'm just going to pull this apart. I'm going to clean out any old grease and muck, and then I'm going to reassemble it. I'm not saying this is the problem. It may be still more carburation issues, but the carburetor, I've spent basically a year messing with the carburetor, and I think I've got it about right. I've got a new coil in the bike, I've got a new condenser, I've got new jets in the carburetor, and it's just that mid-throttle point just isn't quite right. So I'm gonna have a look at this and see if this will benefit from re-greasing, and then we'll take it from there. First operation is to remove the center spindle, which should, I think, yep, just pull out. Okay. Now it's quite dry in there, but it does look clean. It doesn't look terrible. There is a channel in here that should be packed with grease, and it's not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this center piece out, and then repack it with grease, and then refit it into onto there. The other thing I'm going to do is have a look at the pivot points on these flyweights and just see if they could do with cleaning and re-greasing. Although I'm just a bit wary about breaking these springs. So yeah, so I'm gonna pull this apart, clean everything, and then put it back together again. There we go. It's one spring. So I'm going to keep them in order so they're, let's have a look, orientate. So the top spring with the cutout goes to the right. There we go. Bottom, sorry. Okay, and the 107 spring, that's 107 written on there, goes to the left. There we go. So the side with 107 stamped on it goes to the left. The side with the cutout, which I nearly lost there, goes to the right. Let's see. So now we have a washer. Okay, so that one with the cutout goes to the right, and then we've got a second washer. Yeah. And then we have a flyweight. In actual fact, I am going to just put an arrow on that so we don't get it upside down. Probably being over cautious, but okay. There's our flyweight. Is there a washer on the bottom? So look, yeah, there's a washer on the bottom, and then we've got the flyweight itself. There's nothing else there, so we can grease that post up in a minute. Right, let's do the 107 side. Now then, is there a thrust washer under here? Yes, there is. So right at the bottom here there's a thrust washer, which I'm just going to wake up. Come on. Thrust washer there. Is that it? That is it. So there we go, disassembled. I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to re-clean the parts and then I'm going to re-grease it and reassemble it. Right, all the parts are cleaned now, so it's time for a reassembly. Just grease up the bottom and the shims. There you go. That's one shim. Two shims. Next, the centre of this has like a groove in it that should be packed with grease. I'm just going to get that in there. Not the easiest thing to do. I think it acts like a grease reservoir, the groove in the centre. Okay, that feels nice and smooth. Now we're just looking for that witness mark on top, because that has to point at that cutout that we mentioned before. I can't see it now, it's around there. There it is. So there's two little marks there, so they're pointing at this cutout. Grease up, what should we do, 107 side. So we'll grease up the post with the 107. And then the washer that goes on the bottom of that post. A bit excessive. I'm just going to put a bit of grease in the post hole for the flyweight. Which I'm now struggling to locate. Come on. Actually, that's probably easier if I take that out for now. Make sure the washer stays behind. Okay, so don't put that centre cam in until after you've assembled the flyweight. As I've just discovered, it makes it difficult to do. Washers, I found the other washer. I thought there was only one on this side, but there were two just very closely stuck together. This is the bit that always worries me, the C-clips. Again, try not to lose it. There we go. Has that gone in? That has gone in. Lovely. There we go. Clipped home. So that's one arm on. That feels nice and smooth. Let's see if we can get the spring on. And the spring faced downwards. Like so. I want to make sure I can do this before I can commit to the other one. That, and then I've got to hook it over the post, and then it should just press down. says confidently. There we go. Good. So that's one side done. Excellent. Right, I'll do the other side and come back. So that's the second side in, and now it's a case of fitting this back in, and again just lining up those two little witness marks with the cutout, and then if I spread the flyweights, it should, he says confidently, be able to drop in there. There we go. Right, don't need that excess grease in there. That. Okay, so that actually feels smoother than it did before, which is good. So hopefully this will give us a more progressive advance rather than a notchy or jerky one. Whether this cures my final problems, I don't know. But that does feel a lot smoother. There's no graunchiness to it. Very, very smooth. Good. Right, hopefully my grease is up to the job of getting up to temperature. I mean, this sits pretty much in the cylinder head, so it's going to be getting warm. I don't really want all that grease melting out of there, but it is what it is. If it proves to be a problem, then I'll try and find a higher temperature grease. This is just a multi-purpose grease. So we'll see how we get on. I might find it just runs out when it gets hot. But let's see how we get on. Right, I'm going to fit that to the bike, see what we do. So I've just been out for a test ride to the local bike cafe, and she's performing much better, much smoother. Still not 100%. There's a little bit of a flat spot around about 40 mile an hour in top gear. Which I think must be carburation. I think the only thing left really now is new needle, and that's it.